You ever get a day off?
Oh, I have time off, but my brother's sick. Nothing serious, but it keeps my ass here. Looks like you about to do some traveling.
Got my walking papers at home last night. Got them at the office this morning.
That's a hell of a thing.
Yeah, my client's been in.
He got tired of waiting. Said he'd go to your office.
Shit. Those bastards will chase that guy's ass.
He'll come back here when he finds out you're not there.
You're right. Give me a cup of coffee and a shot of bourbon.
Sure. Look, Henry, I don't mean to stick my nose in...
Go ahead.
Well,
You probably have good advice to give. And right now I could use a lot of help.
Well, I wouldn't call this help. I was just going to say you're dedicated to keeping this country free. But your papa-in-law, well, if you don't mind my saying so, he's meaner than hell.
No, I don't mind you saying it, because the old son of a bitch is meaner than hell. But that knowledge...
But it doesn't do you any good, does it?
That knowledge is neutral. I'm not worried about losing my wife or my job. Ordinarily, I guess I would be. But as everybody and his uncle says, these are not ordinary times. What worries me is evil people taking power, with so many naive and fearful people marching in lockstep. No matter how good the politicians' intentions, great power will lead them into temptation, and some will surrender to their devils. Oh, look, my client's late, and I'm worried about him. He should be here by now. Can you watch my things while I go look for my client?
Sure, first, why don't you finish up your coffee?
Sure. Sudden burst of energy from caffeine can't hurt.
And it's not just coffee anymore.
Whoa!
Yeah, you need to slow down.
Yeah, yeah, you might be right.
Yeah.
Maybe I will have to slow down if I'm going to think clearly enough to find this guy.
My God, what the hell kind of guts you got?
The kind of guts that the man needs when he's going to find a desperate client. Look, I got to use the phone.
All right with me, but I thought you had one of them cell phones.
I can be traced with that damn thing.
Yeah, one of them damn things, and you're like a cat with a bell.
I got to get a throwaway phone. For now, I've got to use your landline. Yep. Miss Schwartz. Oh, you told him already? Well, now that's good. Hello? Didn't even give me a chance to thank her. They're all cold as hell at that place.
The hell with them bastards. You get your client coming over here, okay?
Yeah, let's see. He's coming from... I'll just go out and watch for him.
You do that. I don't think he'd be long.
We shouldn't be very long.
His client's not here, Mother.
I don't believe he is.
Freaks like that don't exactly move quickly. Henry's probably gone out to look for him.
Sit down.
You sit. I'm too nervous.
Oh, for God's sake, sit down and stop acting like a damn fool.
What makes you think you can separate lawyer and client?
I can intimidate the freak. And as for your husband, well, I've just never paid any attention to that boy at all. And I'm not starting now.
Wouldn't it just be easier to grab the freak and recondition him?
It's not a thing the powers that be would have.
And the powers that be would have us believe they're all so damn smart.
Well, don't talk about the powers that be. You should know better than to attack those who work to build tomorrow into a place humanity could only dream of.
Tomorrow's perfection will not be stopped by gentleness and a poor, shy football player who somehow earned a good money-making degree.
He's thrown his money-making degree away because of this damnable idealism.
Then recondition him. Recondition him gently. Gently. Gently, and he'll be tomorrow's fool.
I don't know what's to happen to him, but I know he cannot be part of our lives. And you can't run away with him and live somewhere else. The powers that be will be like that old belief about God. They'll be everywhere. You know why, but you don't ask why, and I can't say why. Don't you know that?
It's a lonely 3 letters, but it's the forbidden word, isn't it?
Yes, it is the forbidden word. And you wouldn't use it if you weren't crazy with love for that damn fool.
You always called love the hots glorified, didn't you, Mother?
Oh, it's the money god that should join a man and woman. Everything else is the hots glorified.
You think the money god joined Henry and I?
That boy's family didn't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of.
You and Daddy said he'd become one of the best lawyers in the state.
Well, he would have been if he'd used his common sense and fallen in line. And you know he'd never submit to reconditioning.
He wouldn't need to go voluntarily, and one trick or another, his resistance would.
Good.
I know there's a stimulus and a response. Heredity and environment, not good and evil. Only conditioning and altering genes will make a perfect world.
Look, I tried to have that boy reconditioned, but the committee would have nothing of it.
I always thought you and Daddy were such big, important members of the committee.
Our committee is a long way from being the ultimate committee.
Then who does belong to the ultimate committee?
It's easy to see you've been living with that damn fool. You shouldn't have said anything about the committee. When we take over, I mean when the world is ready to be perfected, and that's the sort of thing we'll surely send you to a reconditioning center.
I hear something.
I told you that idiot would be by himself.
Excuse me, miss.
We're closed.
Y'all don't work here?
We're the new owners.
Y'all open your own restaurant?
We're going to open a boutique.
But they sent me here. I don't know where else he could be.
Here, a shot will relax you.
No.
I know, you think you'll get drunk, but you know better than that. The little that you'll drink will only help you to think, to figure out where he is.
You send a man to his death and you laugh.
He won't exactly be a great loss. I doubt he'll get drunk and fall in the river. But in his desperation to find your husband, he'll probably run in front of a moving car. And if he's killed, you may be able to get your worthless husband back. Not that he'll ever return to your father's law firm.
There's other firms.
Oh, really?
Henry here?
No, he went to check on the accident down the street.
Then he'll know. They'll tell him.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Henry's client been killed. The one who believed in the Constitution.
My God, was a guy killed? Shit.
Yes. Poor little guy. He had a lot more guts than a lot of the tough guys in this country. At least other cops will tell Henry, not me.
He threw his life into that guy. I mean, he bet everything on the roll of the dice. It shouldn't be that way. We got a Constitution that should make everything as clear as a sunny day. The Constitution you swear to defend. When you go in the military, the Constitution you die for. The Constitution you kill for. The Constitution very few people ever read.
I'm sorry the man died, but the struggle's only started.
That it has. I keep thinking about the poor little dead guy. Could somebody have run him over on purpose?
No, the lady who hit him stopped. He ran right in front of her car. He had been drinking, but he wasn't drunk. She said he seemed to be looking for something or someone.
Oh, he was looking for Henry. Henry was late. He had a lot of unavoidable things to do since his wife threw him out last night.
The bitch.
Not finding Henry here, he went looking for him at that law for him. When he found out Henry was no longer there, he panicked. He just panicked.
I know you all know he was a good man, and I'm afraid we'll have to be as brave as he was. It won't be long before they move toward creating their utopia.
Now, your wife and mama-in-law was here.
We must be prepared to act. God knows the utopianists are ready to act.
Has this place been checked for listening devices?
Every inch of it, several times a day.
When did you last do a search?
Oh, maybe 2.5 hours ago. And I watched Henry's wife and his mama-in-law the whole time. Of course, they didn't know about it, but then they came to.
We're safe then.
Yeah.
Safe as humanly possible, but people have to know. I can do a lot in that department, a pamphlet here and a pamphlet there, but I can't do any more here.
Where will you go?
Any place where I can work without having to use a social security number.
Not many places like that.
Some big shots are always interested in transient farm laborers.
That's mainly what I'll be doing.
If you run into any paranoid cops, they'll tend to give you transit work or some shit.
Some shit like fingerprints or DNA profile.
I'll be all right, but you two had better be careful.
Discretion is part of our name.
They know you're both friends of mine.
Eventually we'll be caught.
Eventually we'll all be caught. God willing, there'll be others who will follow us. Until that time, as people understand freedom and are willing to fight for it without a letter from a draft board, and never again automatically believing what a corporate head or politician says.
You have to leave.
Yes.
You'll be writing pamphlets, secret leaving them here and there until people wake up. But they will wake up. They've got to wake up.
They'll wake up. This can't be a country of fools.
Please, God, let it happen.
Look, I never did like to say goodbye, so I won't say it now. I'll walk away and not look back.
The events and the characters in these stories are fictional. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, is purely coincidental. The members of our cast:
Henry Mouton, played by Joseph D. Rodolfo.
Peter Chauvin, played by Peter Gann.
Michelle Chauvin-Mouton, played by Margot Fanning.
Marco, played by Jeff Hockenheimer.
Donald Clemenceau, played by Ken Mantell.
Maggie Chauvin, played by Jan Chatanet.
Lillian Patterson, played by Juanita Jackson.
Recording and music by Michael Hogan, directed by Ken Mantell. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.